soul, and body. So what you're looking at here is my body. That's my flesh suit. And we don't hear a lot of teaching on that. People will talk about it a little bit. But if you've got two, if you just had two, if there's just a spirit and a body, they'd either be in agreement or they'd be a fighting all the time. But you could get two of them into agreement and they'd be in perfect agreement because they'd just be two. Now follow along with me. But if there's just one, it would either be on one side or the other, just like the two. It'd either be a fighting like dogs, or either be in agreement with evil, or they'd be in agreement with good. But there's three. And basically what it all boils down to, I am a spirit. I have a soul or a mind, and I live in a body, this flesh suit. God said that He made man out of the dust of the ground. He formed him just like somebody would make something out of clay. And He got down and He breathed into his nostrils, into that clay, and that man became a living soul. God said when that man's life was finished here on this earth, that his body would go back to the dust where it's taken, but the spirit would go back to be with God who gave it. Ain't that good news? When you see somebody dead or laying in a coffin, all you're looking at's their earth suit. And I'm not trying to get off no doom and gloom, but this body that we esteem so high, it's the least in the order of things. All it is a vehicle to transport us around and to keep us earthy. That's all it is. It's no more than a vehicle is to get you backwards and forwards to work in. The real you, or the real Herb King that you're seeing or listening to here, is born again and right and holy, and Jesus lives there. And that's what God's trying to get the surface out of me, to get my flesh and my mind doing the same way that it is. It's born again. It's holy. It's pure, as the old saying is a driven snow, my spirit is. Don't make no difference about what, nothing else, or nothing. My spirit is holy and right before God, because Jesus saved me and He moved in and made His abode within me. And where He lives, it's holy. And it's a holy place. And these people out there, and Kenneth was talking to you a while ago, that went back on the Lord, and you've been all the time that you've been gone from the Lord. And I'm telling you this with the Spirit of God on the inside of me. You've been thinking, well, I've lost it. I got saved once. I wished I'd have stuck with it, but I quit. I've got out and done some bad things, and I ain't saved no more. The devil's lying to you. You are saved. You really got saved, if you really got born again, and you think, well, these things I do after I got saved and things that goes on, and it bothers me, and it didn't do that. That's why that it's bothering you, because your spirit is righteous. Your spirit got born again. When your flesh, your mind gets your flesh tricked into doing things, that's the reason you got a conscience. You need to thank the Lord that you've still got that conscience. And tonight you need to come back to where you started at and say, God, I'm sorry that I let my flesh control what you put on the inside of me. I'm going to go back and let my spirit get my body and my mind lying back out again, and I'm going to start praying and reading this book here, and I'm going to feed my spirit, and I'm going to let it dominate me instead of letting my flesh tell me what to do. See, when there's three instead of one or two, there's one that can stay neutral all the time. If you can get them all three in agreement, you've really done something, Kenneth. But the mind up here, that's the soul in the Greek. The soul of a man is his intellect, his emotion, his will, and his thinking. Well, the mind is all the time trying to tell you that you need to do this, you need to do that. Look at this, look at that. And I want to start with a sure and where I did last week, and I want to go through it kind of quick, and then I want to make a point, and then I'll quit. But I talked about how that Paul used the reference of about how a man and a woman are being married. Now, Paul brought that out pretty good, I thought. And I want us to get that mindset when we start about how that a man could have two wives. He's divorced from one or separated from her and he's married to the other, but he still wants to go back to the other, and then he wants to stay with the other in a while, and then he wants to go back to the other in a while. Man, that's a mess. I mean, that don't work out good, does it, at all? I mean, people tries that just don't go good. Don't go good. But if you're married to grace, and that's what we're going to call this, by grace, Ephesians chapter 2, 8 and 9, I think it is, it says, for by grace are ye saved through faith. Through faith by grace are ye saved. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. Not of yourselves, not of works, lest any man should boast. It's for by grace through faith. It's by the grace of God. So grace, we're going to call that woman grace, the grace of God. The law that everybody's hung up in, we're going to just call her Laura. How's that? Now let's start reading in Romans chapter 7. And